Assalamu alaikum. I am delighted to be live again with Al Khidr, but now he's known as Miko. Is it Miko?
Michko, Michko.
Michko, I mean, that's your original
I
name,
was
right?
always, first of all, walaikum salam.
Walaikum
How you doing?
salam.
Alhamdulillah,
It's so good to
alhamdulillah.
see you.
Always a pleasure.
Where
Always a
have
pleasure.
you been? You left the UK.
I've been in Serbia now for over 8 months. I had a
Mashallah.
beautiful experience with a bitter taste because coffee sometimes is a bitter, but then it gives you a good boost.
Yes,
So I had a beautiful experience in Serbia. We opened a association that we are dealing with promoting Islamic values, dealing with
Mashallah.
Islamophobia and whatnot. Because Serbia is a place where they had that war with in Balkans, so they were involved. I would say a lot of people think they were on the other side. What is other side? Someone should ask himself. So they were on I wouldn't say religious other side.
Mhm.
They were on political other side because
Okay.
religion was used when Yugoslavia broke up. It was like actually a very communist, very atheist, very secular system.
Yeah.
So then straight away people start looking excuses. Why are we different? Aha, by the way, your grandparents used to be Christians, yeah, and my ones used to be Muslims. So let's see this as a division. But anyway, a good news is, brother, they're interested.
Wow.
They are taking Qurans. They
And-
pick up Qurans.
And you, as a Serbian convert, are seen previously were seen as a traitor to your own race because of this. Is that perception still there?
To a certain extent, but we are amending it.
Okay.
It's getting positive.
But is it a shock? Like if you're on the streets and you're giving dawa, and that, firstly, giving dawa in Serbia itself is
Alhamdulillah,
it's a landmark.
brother. This was my first social experiment. I went on the streets. I put the black topi, black suit, white shirt. It's now because I have a big head and that black topi almost look like a Jewish whatever they have on the, how they call it, kippah. And a lot of them, they weren't sure if what am I, because now I'm in a suit. I look suited and whatnot. So I was asking people, can Serbian be a Muslim? So of course, if the answer was negative, but I am a Muslim. Yeah. So that was my first social experiment. Yes, there were some trolls, and you can find them everywhere. You're probably going to find them in this chat later on within a couple of days or within a couple of hours, depending, who's watching. But majority, brother, they were positive.
Wow.
Positives. From that point on, that was first 3 dawa in the history of modern Serbia. We do not know what was happening with Ottomans. And you know what happened that day?
Yeah.
At the end, last conversation, someone was interested and we had a Quran in a backpack. So we gave him a Quran. It was on the camera. So that was first time that someone was talking about Islam, Serbian, in the middle of Belgrade capital, talking about Islam, talking about him being a Serbian Muslim, and then giving some other Serbian person a Quran in the hand.
Allah
So
Akbar.
first time there was like,
This is amazing. Now, I don't want to lose track of the comments because there's people asking questions. Before we get, one of the brothers himself said I'm a troll because when he said there's gonna be trolls joining.
Mashallah, honest troll. This one we like you, bro.
You like it?
We like honest trolls.
So this brother has said, can you introduce the guest? So Al Khidr is a brother, is a very dear friend. He's been giving dawah in London, in the UK, in Huddersfield, in many different places for years and years and years and years. Then he went to Serbia to give dawah, and we actually met at the dawah table almost 12 or 13 years ago. I think 12 years ago. We met in Kilburn.
Kilburn High Street.
You were handing out sweets. Do you remember?
Yes.
That's my first introduction to Al Khidr. He was giving out sweets to the brothers, and he was huge. I mean, even now, what are you, 6'7"?
6'7", 8".
6'7", 8".
202 in centimeters.
Yes. And another quick introduction for anybody that's interested is this is a video I did of his revert story 10 years ago. So that's you and me 10 years ago. Can you believe
10
that?
years ago.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. How time flies. So this is a very dear brother, and inshallah people can come here. They can ask questions about dawah in Serbia. Last time I had you on a live, we had people and you had discussions with them as well, so we can have that as well. So some of the people here, they're giving salam. Maybe you know this person. Dino
from Novi Pazar. Salam alaikum, brate. Vraćam se uskoro. I'm coming back to Pazar soon. That's what I told him. I live now in Novi Pazar, by the way. By the way, for viewers who do not know, who have a bad perception of Serbia, far away of Serbia being an Islamophobic country.
Yes.
brother. We've been on the streets of London,
Yes, yes.
and if you go 4 or 5 times in a certain parts of London or
They get
certain
used to
parts
you.
of up north as well,
Yeah.
no, but there will be some kind of a grumpy Islamabad passing by, and you're
Yeah.
gonna hear some bad word and
Yeah,
some
yeah.
gestures with a hand or whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I've been 4 or 5 times on the streets of Belgrade, on the streets of Serbia, not even one.
Belgrade, brothers and sisters, I just want you to understand something. What comes to mind when you think of Belgrade? What comes to mind when you think of Serbs? You think of the Bosnian War, you think of the hatred of Islam, you think of all these things. The fact that there's dawah happening there is a bigger achievement than dawah happening in any other place in Europe. I can't think of any other more hostile, even Russia. There is no place that anybody would say
Brother,
is
excuse me.
Yes.
Russia hostile for Muslims? No,
really.
of course not. There's like
That's the
what?
perception.
That's a bad perception. The biggest mosque built in if we take that as a continent of Europe is in Moscow. When you see the Eid,
Cathedral Mosque, I think it's called.
I don't know
Yeah.
what's the name, but you can see those videos when there's like a million of them for Eid. They fill up the streets. By the way, they have their own private army, a Muslim army. We're not going to go into politics, but Kadyrov is part of Russia. So they love and respect Muslims. So for this reason, they don't treat them bad.
There's too many Muslims there. 20%, I heard.
A lot.
In Russia,
a
yeah.
lot, brother. Really a lot. But Serbia is going that way slowly.
Yes.
Serbia is going that way
I
slowly.
think this brother can bridge the gap with a lot of people by giving dawah to Albanians who need it. So explain to us the link and between the Albania, Croatia, Bosnia, and Serbia, because people get very confused. I get very confused.
Okay, it used to be old Yugoslavia. Albania had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Yeah, Albania is just neighboring country. Now,
so this is the famous state of Yugoslavia, which NATO and others. Then there was a war in the 90s. We're talking about. Yeah?
When they broke up.
Yes.
In that moment, then only Montenegro and Serbia was still called Yugoslavia.
Yes. Yes.
The rest of the countries you have now. If you travel from let's say car journey, that's what I do. By the way, someone's going to think I'm crazy. 35 hours. 35 hours took me from Novi Pazar to here, and I slept only 2 hours.
Allah.
I'm not gonna continue with the story, but this was it. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, so
sorry. How many miles is that, or kilometers?
I didn't even look.
So let's just do a bird's eye view. You drove from.
So now we go across the channel.
So from Serbia, which country?
Let's go this way now.
Sure,
I'm gonna go back. Yeah. So now we are here. I'm in London. I'm gonna go across the channel. I'm in France. From France, I'm gonna floor it all the way down. I'm gonna cut to I can touch Belgium if I want, but I can cut through all the way to Germany.
Okay.
Yeah. So from Germany, I'm aiming to Austria. So I'm not going down Italy or something. I'm aiming to Austria. Austria already borders the first country of ex-Yugoslavia.
Allah.
So if you look at it this way, you have 3 countries and you have already the old Yugoslavia. Yeah. So the old Yugoslavia from Slovenia, you cut through. You're literally going a little bit southeast. Yeah. Southeast. So then you have Croatia. That's ex-Yugoslavian country. Serbians and Croatians speak almost same language. So now maybe some Serbians are going to be angry on me, or some Croatians are going to be angry. We know we have identity. No, you don't have. There is a difference. Ekavica, Jekavica. Very little difference. Probably you have people like that in Pakistan as well, who fight over a language and they understand each other. So it's just please grow up. So after that, in between Serbia and Croatia, literally in the middle of it, there is Bosnia. And then after Serbia, down south, if you go all the way to the coast, you're going to come to Montenegro. If you go a little bit more east.
And you're from Montenegro?
Yeah, originally, yeah.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Slovenia.
Okay.
But my heritage...
And this region was originally...
One more country. I'm almost finished.
Oh, okay. One more country.
Yeah,
Slovenia, Bosnia.
So we have from ex-Yugoslavia. So now we said we come to the border from Austria. We come to the border of ex-Yugoslavia.
Yes.
We have Slovenia, Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia between them.
Yeah.
And then we have a little bit of south, Montenegro. And then a little bit of east, we have Macedonia. So these countries are old ex-Yugoslavia before the war. When the war happened, only Serbia and Montenegro, for some time, they were still Yugoslavia. And then when they separated, even they took the names of their republics back. Yeah. So this is pretty much Now, so it gets confusing today. But if you see the country on the map, if you look at the Adriatic Sea, Italy looks like a boat, yeah.
Mhm.
So if you see that from the hillside, not from the toe side, from the hillside all the way down, there is that's a sea. Everything above that's Adriatic Sea, up north is ex-Yugoslavia. Yeah? So Italy touches with Slovenia as well. Austria touches with Slovenia as well. If you go a little bit of south, then you can go through.
And the majority of this area, would you say, is Christian?
Yes. Oh, of course, Bosnia is known to be over
Yes.
half Muslims.
But even in Bosnia, there's Serbs.
Yes, yes.
And there's actually Bosnians in Serbia, right?
No, Bosnia is politically very, very, very weird. Why they have 3 different presidents or prime ministers or whatever they call them? I haven't been in Bosnia, but it's quite weird because they have 3 people they have kind of a trinity on a display.
Okay.
Why? Because they can't agree on nothing. Because the power is shared amongst 3. Because you have Croats who are Catholics, Bosnians who are Muslims, and Serbians who are Orthodox, and they can't agree on nothing.
Clearly, even there's huge differences between Catholic and Orthodox. Huge, totally different.
Of course,
totally different.
the issue between Serbs and Croats is pretty much based on that.
Okay.
So yeah.
So before we get into, I just want to do a quick recap of the video from 10 years ago, right?
Let me just mention Albanians. So now Albania
Yes.
is even more east. So it's a different country. Now Kosovo, mainly they're Albanians. Kosovo used to be a part of Serbia. It was autonomy of Kosovo, but it was part of Republic of Serbia. It used to be part of ex-Yugoslavia as well.
All of these areas, they were originally under the Ottomans?
Not all of them. Slovenia wasn't completely, and Croatia wasn't completely, but most of them, most of the time, yes.
So
Serbia was 400-500 years under Ottomans, and that's where the bad perception of Islam comes in.
So this is where I think we had a conversation once where you said, because some of your ancestors fought against the Ottomans, so there was that heritage side, which when you converted, then you were seen as a traitor, not only to the Serbs, but to your own ancestors, because your ancestors fought the Muslims.
Exactly. My grandfather, Bigole, he died after he had a battle. Interestingly, Skadar Lake is the lake where I used to spend time when I wanted to become a monk.
Okay.
I had my apprenticeship.
Okay. Now this is interesting.
So,
I remember. You wanted to be a monk.
So my grandfather, he passed away in my land in Montenegro.
Right.
He was fighting Muslims in the same area where I was supposed to trying to become
a
monk. So with Albanians, by the way, because the Albanians there's a border in Lake Skadar. If you want to mention Albanians, so no, building a bridge with Albanians, it's going to be quite hard. Why? Because there's a language barrier. We do not speak same language. In the all ex-Yugoslavia, Croats, Bosnians, Serbs, and Montenegrins, we pretty much speak same language. We understand each other. We do not have to translate each other. Maybe this new generation cannot read that Serbian Cyrillic letters, but in general, we can understand each other. So the biggest countries do understand me. So that means when I speak to them, when I give Dawa, and I was in Croatia, by the way, in Zadar as well. We have a Dawa mission there as well.
So you give street Dawa, you got grassroots Dawa activities, offline Dawa activities. By the same time, you launched online Serbian live streams and other sort of things. What has been the reception for, you must have seen comments from people who are Serbs when they see a fellow Serb who's converted to Islam, and are they curious? Are they furious? Like, what's their reaction?
I would say that the great majority, 90%, are very acceptable.
Really?
Only 10% trolls, but
they're everywhere.
Exactly, they're everywhere. Maybe percentage-wise, there's a bit less. There's going to be 5 or 3% once they get used to you. And this is my aim now, to go from 10% trolls, so people get educated. So I'm going to have 3-5% like you have here in Europe. But amazingly, what I mentioned to you previously, I've been on the streets now of Serbia, or let's say, because Montenegro is not Serbia, but pretty much they have the same letters, Cyrillic letters, similar like Russian letters. So it's very, very similar culture. I've been on the streets 5 times, 4 times in Serbia and once in Pljevlje in Montenegro. I had a shahada on the street, brother.
Allahu Akbar.
In that day, I have given
You can't even
Um,
imagine street dawah in these sort of locations.
120 Qurans in 4 hours.
Allahu Akbar.
120 Qurans.
We
in
were
4 hours.
talking about this earlier, that they're going.
That's
You're
it.
printing out Qurans, they're going. People are just taking them.
Like a fresh bread,
Allah.
you know, like a hot bagels. They're just that's it. That's it. The way I've seen it now, it's like a dry sponge. What you gonna pour in?
Allahu Akbar.
The youngsters are like a dry sponge. So what are you gonna pour in? So the best thing is for people to get motivated, and I see already benefits out of that, because after I did the Pljevlje, I did similar thing that you brothers taught me. So I did a little bit of a Dawa training in the morning, and then we went out and
standard mission, yeah?
Yeah, standard mission. But
MashaAllah.
Ahi, what happened? The priest is passing by. While I'm setting up a camera, I see people passing by and looking, because they see a Quran in Cyrillica, in letters, they never see it. While I'm setting up a camera, I already give like 2-3 Qurans. I'm not there to film. I'm there to communicate. So at the end of the day, sadly, I didn't film everything. It's very short. Clips are going to come out, because I just got in the Dawa. Yeah. So then you see a priest passing by like 10-20 meters. And I start giving him in my language, salam, peace be upon you, like shouting at him to get his attention.
Engage him.
Yeah, to get his attention. So he looked at me. I said, I have a gift for you. I have a gift for you. So he comes. Now I have a Quran in my hand in Cyrillic letters in an accent that is Serbian. So I say, I have a Serbian book for you. This is our book. And he's looking at it, Quran, our book. I said, yes, it's Serbian letters. It's my book. It's your book. Please read it. And he takes it.
Allah.
After these brothers who were with me seen that, we had a nice, smile conversation. Everything was nice. Everything's okay. Then I said, brothers, I didn't come here to do the job for you to watch me. Please take a book. Start giving
Training new people.
MashaAllah. Next week they are there. They've been now 3-4 times.
Allah.
They're there on a regular basis. By now they've given over 300 Qurans already in Pljevlje. So the fruits are already seen. There is a benefit in. The worst thing is, Ahi, when I came to Serbia, I said, no, this is not West. You can't do this here. These are different people. You're gonna cause trouble. I said, I have to go. Please let me go. I was almost begging my team and my people to let me go to Belgrade. First they said, we're gonna see how brave you are when you come here. Same day when I came, 2-3 days I'm sleeping. I said, let's go Belgrade now. No, you're crazy. I said, why did I come here? I left everything. UK, kind of a comfortable Western life.
Compared to there, it is.
It's okay. Even there is better. I gained some kilos. But anyway, that's a different story. This, because when you have your culture food,
yes,
and you haven't had it for a couple of decades,
you make up for it.
Exactly, sadly. But anyway, once I go there, first street Dawa, the one that I said that I was asking, can Serbian be a Muslim? Once I go there, and once I did that social experiment, when I came back to Sanjak, by the way, who doesn't know, people who don't know, Sanjak and Novi Pazar, the Serbians would say Raška, that area, is known to be majority Muslim. That used to be
Sanjak.
Sanjak, yeah. That used to
This
be.
is east.
No, this is really south of Serbia.
South.
South of Serbia, and that same part then touches.
Is this the part that you told me that you'll see hijabis, niqabis, halal food, and it looked like it's a proper Muslim city?
I have 3-4 masjids that can hear adhan.
Allah. Inside Serbia, this is
inside Serbia, brother. I live in a small Islamic emirate.
And they were 90% Muslim in the area?
80-ish%. We have in the same city, there is a monastery. There are monks. So it's not like there's some only Muslims or whatever, yeah?
And these are Serbian Muslims?
No, they're Bosnians.
Bosnians.
There are some Serbian Muslims.
Oh, no, but Serb by their nationality.
Yeah.
As in they're part of Serbia.
But they would declare themselves as Bosnians.
Okay. And likewise, you must have Serbs in Bosnia who are also Muslim, right? Or you don't?
Serbs in Bosnia, brother, no, there would be Bosnians.
Okay.
You're gonna have Serbs in Bosnia, there would be Orthodox Christians. You're gonna have Croats in Bosnia, there would be Catholics.
Okay.
So now when I accepted
So-
Islam,
so-
they straight away some people are telling me, no, you're Bosnian. I
Yeah.
said, excuse me.
Okay. Now,
You're
now I
getting
understand.
the-
It's almost like religion has become a genetic trait there.
Yes.
It's not about, okay, what's the truth? It's okay, if I'm Serb, I'm going to be this. If I'm Muslim, if I'm Bosnian, I'm going to be this.
I don't know how you call this fallacy, but at least a category mistake or something. I don't know.
Yeah, this is
Fallacy of misrepresentation, whatever it is.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
very
yeah,
bad.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
they keep on doing it.
yeah.
Genetic fallacy or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but it's keep on happening.
Yeah.
But now I'm breaking these barriers,
Mhm.
and it's getting easier and easier. It's getting easier and easier. And at the beginning, some people thought I'm a hero. So, I'm not a hero. With a stick, with a microphone in the hand, talking to people. If I would be jumping in a burning building and saving babies or whatever, yeah, fair enough. Then call me a hero. I'm talking to people. It's not the problem that I'm a hero. You guys are cowards. And then they start, now we want to go. We're not covered. Alhamdulillah. There are some Dawa tables they want to open in Belgrade as well. So I see what I have done in these couple of months, that I have kind of finally breakthrough, because first 4 months I was held back. So now these next 4 months were a bit more productive.
Yeah.
And in these couple of months that I have finally breakthrough and start giving intensively a little bit more Dawa on the streets, and we film something tomorrow, by the way, who speaks my language, on channel Biti ili ne biti, means to be or not to be, but for people who don't speak Serbian, Croatian, or Bosnian won't really understand. Tomorrow there will be one video shown there, I think after Taraweeh, so around 9-10 o'clock in the evening for, European time, when we went to Novi Sad, that's the second largest city in Serbia. We gave 80 Qurans in 2-3 hours. We had a couple of nice discussions. There was one good discussion with Islamophobe.
80 Qurans in 2 hours.
Yeah,
With the team, how many team?
there was 4 of us, but there was only 2 of us giving Qurans out.
Okay, so that's amazing.
Brother,
That is amazing.
Like
80, because remember, not everybody's going to take a Quran. You're going to take a Quran if you're serious, and plus, you're going to be walking around with a Quran,
exactly.
and you're going to be. Some people are going to be worried about, oh, people are looking at me and stuff like that. So clearly, there's a lot of demand, and like you said, people are very, very open. Would you say it's generally, like you said, it's a younger generation people are interested?
Of course, youngsters are much more open-minded, but I have seen elderly people, myself, I'm old.
Not yet.
50 is already, I'm there. But anyway, just got 50 last year.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. But I've seen them being open-minded as well, especially because what's happening in Gaza. So I'll take this opportunity.
That's very interesting.
I'll take this opportunity. Let us make dua. Let us make sincere dua. When you're alone in your room, you do a bit of a tahajjud. Go in sajda, make dua. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to change the situation and our hearts and the Muslims, because it's our fault. Some people think that the sword is needed to fix that. No, brothers. No. If we do one thing, we become sincere Muslims. I'll give you one solution. Sorry, I just want to touch on this. If we close borders, any country that is Muslim closes borders same way that Israel has closed borders to Gaza or Palestine, they would bankrupt in a month.
Yes.
The bullet does not have to be shot. The rocket does not have to be launched. If we just do a boycott. So call for boycott. Who? The country border. Within a month, you're going to save the situation. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us better Muslims. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala change the hearts of our leaders so they're going to be brave enough to implement this. I mean, okay, so where were we now?
You said people are interested because of Gaza.
Yes.
And this was very interesting because our experience, we had the Quran campaign, and I'll show you the hoodies, yeah? So we were handing out Qurans in central London, and this is a Palestinian march, pro-Palestinian march. People were interested. Lots of non-Muslims, so interested. And what makes them attracted, generally even people online, people on TikTok, like the hashtag Islam has gone more than 1 million times it's been utilized. more than 1 billion times on TikTok. The cause is that they see, wait a minute, there's these Palestinians, they're suffering, they're dying, they're under rubble, they're under pain, they're under constant bombardment, they're under hunger, starvation, pain, death, agony, yet they say La ilaha illallah, yet they remain upon Islam. And they think to themselves, how is that possible? How can someone be so positive in such a difficult time? And it makes them question. And people, Al-Khidr, are becoming Muslim because of the Palestinian issue.
Exactly.
It's absolutely mind-blowing.
And it's affecting Serbians.
Mm.
My generation, who maybe fell under the politics of my age when there was a war there, and maybe they hated Muslims for some time.
Mhm.
So it's not only youngsters,
Allahu Akbar.
it's really having a big impact. So whatever Islamophobes try to do, the light of Allah will not be put down. Never.
Absolutely.
Never. And it's
Absolutely.
beautiful how this hard, how this bad situation, how this really hard to bear
Mhm.
situation for any Muslim, anyone who's part of Ummah. Because
Yeah.
those ones who don't feel pain, that
Yeah.
means you're not part of a body.
Yeah.
You have to at least feel pain. How you deal with the pain, that's a different story.
Yes.
Or at least you need to feel a pain to be part of a body, to be part of a Ummah. And the way the Ummah has reacted.
Yes. Or lack of reaction.
But if it's lack of reaction, then don't feel the pain.
Mm.
I'm not trying to be now political and give takfirs, because I'm not far away from learned enough to do anything like that, and I wouldn't even associate with people who go around and do those kind of things. But if you don't feel pain, you are not part of that body. Didn't Prophet ﷺ, he said that we are all part of the body. If one part of the body hurts, then the whole body.
Absolutely.
So you should be sleepless.
Just like, the Bosnian conflict, it affected an entire generation of people across Europe.
Exactly.
Everybody around in that time. I remember at that time in the 90s, I was a kid, but it impacted me, even as because the images and all that stuff. And speaking about Bosnia, there's an interesting question, right? How come Bosnia is so staunchly Muslim in the middle of these kuffar countries? That's actually a very interesting question, because the Ottomans controlled that area, or a large part of that area. How did they come to Islam, if you know about how they came? Because it is very strange that all around them they're surrounded by people who are staunchly anti-Islam.
As much as I understand, some good historians would go into details, but as much as I understand, I can scratch the surface and give some like simple understanding. They were different kind of Christians. They weren't really part of Roman Catholic or Byzantine Orthodoxy.
Interesting.
They were different kind of Christians. So they were
Bosnians
closer.
were different.
Yeah, so they were closer to Tawheed. So when the Ottomans came and they called them to La ilaha illallah, the transition was smooth for them.
This is interesting.
Yeah, so this was like simplifying everything. Probably there was a lot of other facts as well. Because some of them, historians are saying that some of them were taking because they were threatened by certain monarchs or whatever, so they were taking protection, so they were running away to the Ottoman side and whatnot. So because
this brother, Knowledge North, mashallah, he has very good knowledge of history. He says Bosnian church and Bogomils. Somebody was talking to me about this. Bogomils are who is it a particular ethnic group or religious group?
No, religious group. So they were Bosnians. This is exactly what I was talking about.
Okay.
So they were different kind of Christians,
right,
who were closer to Tawheed. Now I haven't read the scriptures. I haven't got something in my hand for me to be able to assess it correctly. But if you can definitely find some historical evidence of Bogomils, and you can see what they were saying. Now there are stories that Arius, when they had that Council of Nicaea, when they proclaimed him a heretic, that he was actually residing somewhere in the Bosnia, in Herzegovina, in those parts for quite some time, seeking refuge there. Could it be an influence of his? I wouldn't really think so, because as much as I read about Arius, he wasn't on Tawheed. He was just different kind of a Trinitarian.
I guess adoptionism, I think, is a position that was called. So you just reminded me of this talk, and I recommend anybody go online and watch it. It's called Islamic Trajectories in Early Christianity by Dr. Gerald Dirks. Have you seen this?
No.
So Dr. Gerald Dirks, he was a Christian deacon, then he converted to Islam, and he specialized. I mean, he has a lot of. Oh, he passed away now. May Allah have mercy on him. But he really understood the early Christian sects that were similar to Muslims. So he has this talk online called Islamic Trajectories in Early Christianity, and what he basically shows in this talk is that many of the beliefs that we as Muslims hold about Isa alayhi salam, including even details, early Christians, certain early Christian groups believed them. And there's even a point that he argues that at one point, Christians who are more like Unitarian Christians were bigger in number than the Trinitarian Christians. Were actually bigger in number. And he also speaks about when the Muslims went into all these different areas, the Christians who were more likely to accept Islam were from the other Christian denominations other than Trinitarians.
So this is in a time of already a
the Middle East.
Salam and time of
this is the first
Sahabas and
this is not the Sahaba time. This is the time of the Umayyads.
Umayyads,
yes,
no,
which is still the first generation.
Because I approach this from different angles, but there were definitely first century, second century Christians. They are known Christian scholars, or they will call them church fathers. They were writing about them, and they were calling them heretics.
Yes.
And they even speak about them believing in that Jesus alayhi salam is not God and that he wasn't crucified. So we have historical evidence from the early church fathers. They are mentioning certain groups, so of course they proclaim them heretics.
Yeah. See, this is interesting. Bosnians were heretical Christians.
Bogomils,
before Ottomans, and other mainstream Christians oppressed them and crusaded them for that. I didn't know that.
It was easy for them. So now about Bogomils, I haven't really read any theological work of theirs.
Yes.
I listened to a couple of lectures, but it would be maybe good for someone who has a bit more time on his hand to do that.
Plus, the Ottomans invested in Bosnia, including the Sanjak.
Sanjak, that's from Novi Pazar. That's exactly where I'm now.
That's where you are now.
That's where I'm now. Yeah.
Due to their fighting prowess, the Bosnian wing at the Battle of Kosovo, Polji returned undefeated. Subhanallah. Some very interesting history.
Kosovo Polji means Kosovo field.
Yeah.
There was
the thing that we need to understand is when we're giving dawah in an area, we have to understand the people. Who are these people? What is their history? What are they more likely to accept? Right? So being from that Serb background, you must understand that they have a lot of historical baggage against the Bosnians. They have a lot of historical baggage against the Ottomans. They probably have a lot more affinity to Russia because of the Slavic sort of link and stuff.
Yeah.
So how do you utilize that knowledge, and how do you recommend other Serbs who have converted to Islam utilize that knowledge in order to make the dawah more acceptable for the people?
Look, there are a couple of historical facts. First of all, we have evidences of Christians, Orthodox Christians, and Muslims living around the world in a peace. That's why I say to any Serb.
Yeah.
We have historical evidences. When, where. You can see it now. Now what we have in Russia, when we mentioned Kadyrov and the Putin. If we leave politics aside, we have a government that has proclaimed Sharia, so there is no alcohol sold in Chechnya and so on. So it's quite interesting. On the other side, now we can see what's happening in Gaza. If you've seen that video, maybe it was a month or 2 months ago, when a Muslim brother is asking a priest, look, they demolish our mosque. Can I call adhan from your church tower? And the priest says, no, because I will call it for you. I'm going to be your muaddin. So we can see that Orthodox and Muslims
Have a different relationship.
have a different relationship than in Balkans itself.
Mm.
You know, on the other side, it is a historical fact that the only time there was peace in Middle East, that there was coherence of preachings and teachings, not this, you know, human rights rubbish that we see is you know, out of the window now, gone with the wind.
Yeah.
The only time that there was peace in Palestine is when Muslims were ruling it. So we can see factually the way history was playing and what is even happening now. So this is how I usually would approach. I would give these 2-3 details, and then I would speak to people further on if they're interested. Would they read? Many of them are really, really amazingly, you know, happy to accept the Quran. A lot of them would pay for it, you know. So I think even in future, let's give out like 200,000-300,000 Qurans, and then in future we can start selling them, because once we fill up the market and people know about it and they start talking about it, then maybe we will not need donations for the Qurans to be printed.
You can recycle it when people pay for it,
and then they can pay for it to just literally recycle it. And because, brother, look,
okay,
I just one thing. We've been on the streets of England many times giving out Qurans, and in the certain areas you give 30-40 Qurans, and then you go down the road and you see in a bin some torn pages or something. Not a lot, but you can see these things. I haven't seen that there. And I deliberately went, you know, the path I was going before, in, let's say, Novi Sad, where I've given all these Qurans. I've seen one Quran abandoned, but you know where? Post box high. Someone left it there, a book.
They still had reverence for it.
Exactly. And as soon as I pick it up, there was a person passing by. I said, "Would you?" And he took it. So it was gone. It was gone as it was, you know. But again, I haven't seen it somewhere. Probably someone just had a, you know, flashback. Oh, well, my father is saying bad things about Islam or whatever. What they're gonna say if I come with this book home? So I'll leave it here. No one built nothing. No one tore nothing. No one swear at me. So easy, so beautiful to give dawah to.
And you were told, don't give dawah there.
Exactly.
You were told, don't give dawah there. You know.
They're gonna. This is the story was going like this. The fear mongering was so big.
Can you WhatsApp? Can you WhatsApp me the pictures, and so I can bring them up on the screen, please?
Of what?
The dawah in Serbia. You know, I think you may have sent me some pictures in the past.
Brother, I have no UK phone here, and the Serbian phone is in the hotels.
No, but I think you sent me the pictures some time back.
If you have something, but what you can do,
you did. You just there you go. There you go. Look.
This was clearly. This is where we got the Shahada.
MashaAllah. So you got this picture. Look how nice the place looks as well.
Beautiful.
I'm not sure if you brothers and sisters can see that. What is this place in Al-Khidr? Where are we?
This is Montenegro Pljelje. This is still part of Sanjak. There's like 15% Muslims there. Rest of it.
And what was the reception like here?
Beautiful. Even priest took Quran.
So you're handing
give Quran to a priest.
And so what's the literature? You've got some Quran copies. What else are you giving out there?
More or less Qurans, and then there's a couple of other materials that I haven't really went through deeply.
Okay, and what's going on here?
This was in Macedonia. We've been in Skopje. This was the first Dawa mission. The brothers were a bit cautious because they took me. I didn't know that Skopje itself has a Muslim area and non-Muslim area.
Okay.
And when we were leaving, I was told you've been in a Muslim area, and I was like, oh, "Come on, guys!" It's like making a, you know, put a Dawa table in the masjid. No, you go. We should go on the other side. So any Macedonians who want to do a Dawa in a Christian area, please contact me. Please contact me.
Okay.
So now, because we are streaming this on 2 channels, probably a lot of viewers, if there are any. Let me just check here. Oh, there are 8, mashallah. Those ones who are, so they know my language, and they know English now because they are following us. So if you know anyone, who wants to do Dawa in Macedonia, please, let's do a Dawa in Macedonia, in the Christian side of how you call it, Skopje, capital.
Yeah. So, people that are nervous here in London to give dawah, or in a city like Toronto, compared to where you're giving dawah, is way more hostile. So what advice would you give to young Muslims to build that confidence to go out there and give dawah?
Brother, first of all, every one of us needs to meet that moment in his life when he needs to decide and choose his priorities. And it was hard for prophets of Allah, and it was hard for Sahabas. So it's reasonably, it's gonna be maybe gathering moment for us as well when we want to do something. I'll give you an example of a prophet. We all know Yunus alayhi salam.
Yes.
Was quite not frustrated. He was really scared. He didn't want to go to oppressed people, to oppressors, to such a criminal nation, to a big city when God knows what it was happening there.
Yeah.
Well, but the question here is, when did he realize he did wrong? In the belly of the whale. Yeah. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to put us in the belly of the whale. He's not going to be so nice to us. Imagine you're in the belly of the whale now, the acids are a little bit nibbling you. You don't feel that's niceness. That was the nicest way. This is how the Prophet of Allah was treated. And this is how far he has to go to break the ice and say, Ya Rab, I have transgressed against myself.
Allah.
So if we don't do dawah, what are we doing? First of all, I have non-Muslims next to me. I'm transgressing against myself because there is no more prophets.
Allah.
There is no more prophets. So now the job is on us. So first of all, you're going to come to that point. You're going to have it hard. You need to change your niyyah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to put you in a belly of a whale, but you have to change that niyyah. Because if we are not inviting, who is inviting? We all know, and we heard this cliche, if you don't give dawah, you receive dawah. Dawah is given.
That's so true.
So we have to do it. It's our responsibility. Now, how to motivate yourself or how to motivate others? You know what, Akhi, if you want to share from the channel, if you want to share, that's
the video.
Yeah, but that's just a shorts. That's on my channel. Yeah, that was.
So this is you guys giving dawah.
This is in Skopje. In Macedonia. This was a first dawah mission. This is, like I said, happening in the Muslim area. It was nice and decent.
But still, that's good, because they have Muslim neighbors, they have Muslim friends.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. But the same city, if I would walk just 50 to 100 meters, a little bit more in one direction, I would come to the place. But this is where they were still, all of them were still a little bit too scared. I didn't realize because I was taken there and I didn't even know. By the way, Skopje, beautiful. And you're going to get halal food and you're going to hear masjid, and it was summer and they weren't really dressed, appropriately for us Muslims. So we would have more conversations, but it was they were tourists. These guys were tourists, atheists.
Wow.
And he was giving me some opinions, what's right and what's wrong, subjective and objective.
People are always ready to talk. You go out there on the street, you speak to people are ready to talk. This is what we have to keep in mind. We think people are not interested, but you go out, London, Tokyo, Sao Paulo, wherever you go, you hand out flyers, you have a smile on your face, you want to interact with people, you want to, just ask them questions. People are happy to talk.
Exactly.
Think about yourself.
Why, bro? Why are the people happy to talk?
Because they don't have an opportunity otherwise. They're staring at the TV. They have a million questions. What's happening with there's that as well. And they're spiritually dry. They're spiritually dead.
This makes you lonely. Because you're distancing yourself from people and you want to talk to them. So you're becoming lonelier and lonelier and lonelier. And today we are lonely and we sit behind the table and 10 of us and everyone has a phone and we're all lonely. We don't connect.
Yeah.
I like your stop scrolling, mashallah.
Mashallah.
Mashallah,
it's needed, brother. we as human beings, we need human-to-human connection. We don't need smartphones and all of these things. You can be talking to 1,000 friends on Facebook, or one friend comes over and you drink tea with them. You're feeling much better with that one friend than you are with thousands of people online.
Brother, I'd rather spend half an hour with a stupid person than half an hour with a smartphone.
So,
It is, because at the end of the day, if nothing else, I'll have experience, and
Yeah.
maybe he's gonna get educated over something.
I love that. I'd rather spend half an hour with a stupid person than half an hour with a smartphone. Okay. And what's happening here? Oh, this is something else.
It's
There's something else.
Somebody
So-
present.
We were talking about, you're talking about confidence, right? Building confidence. But you gave a very Islamic paradigm on it, which is super important. But then there's general strategies, which are general, to build up confidence. Now, in your past life, for lack of a better word before, you were a security guard,
Yes,
and you were actually in very dangerous positions.
sometimes.
And
yes.
well, from my perspective, pretty dangerous. From your perspective, probably not. But how would you say that had an impact in your confidence in giving dawah? Because you did personal protection, right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
not a joke, right?
Yeah.
That's a serious.
Personal protection, I wouldn't say gives me so much confidence in that, but it was like being a bouncer on the door.
This is
In
before you're
some-
Muslim
Yeah, in some popular club.
in
Because
London,
people keep on approaching you and talking to you, and
and it's actually a dangerous job. People die like this. People are stabbed.
sometimes, because you refuse some junkies and some gangsters and whatnot. It's part of the job description. But what happens to you because you are there to speak to people? Different thing is some dummies who are inside the club, some are standing in a corner and they pretty much don't speak to no one. The music is so loud. But if you're on the doors, if people can see your talent, that you can communicate with people and can be nice to them. The owners of a club or whatnot, your management will give you the job that you're on the door. So that's where I kind of builded my confidence more to speak English. I was pretty much confident. Usually you see all tall guys, we are quite confident.
Because you're always looking down on
because
people.
everyone's looking up and yeah, what do you want?
Like in that video with that Italian guy. Italian. What was he?
Italian guy.
He's
Brother,
looking
Italian
at-
guy. I asked him, what are you? He said, I'm a Catholic. Okay, but I believe in reincarnation. I said, excuse me. And then I don't believe in God at all. Are you a Catholic? I said, yes, but I was born in Italy. I'm Catholic, man. So people are confused. They really don't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
They can't define even what they are.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he was an atheist, believing in reincarnation. What's
Yeah.
even weirder, but yeah.
No, so brother, you're right. Muslims don't do nightclub protection. This is before he became Muslim.
Yes. By the way, I accepted Islam 2007 in London.
2007. Who gave you dawah?
Alhamdulillah. Interesting story. I'm not going to really prolong it too much. But first dawah that I have seen influence, that people has influenced me, was when I was doing security in a place when there was a lot of wedding parties. It was during the day, so it's the day security. When I came to England 2002 in a spring and a summer, and I had problems with everyone except Muslims. So
Really?
of course, because what you are there to tell them stop music and stop selling alcohol. So I'm there to shut the bar down and to tell DJ stop wedding. It's not nightclub, it's a wedding hall. So we would have like 2 rounds. The first will be, I don't know, from 12 till 3, 4, and then you're going to have another one, whatever. Or from 5 till 10, another one. 5 hours here, 5 hours there. But people will come here normal. They just did their whatever marriage in a council, secular, or whatever they did, or in a church or whatever. So I would have Indians, I would have Sikhs, I would have anyone.
Right.
And when I was coming in, they were smiling and nice to me. And when I say stop music, brother, you had like 10, 20 drunk people. No, what? More, one more. Or you stop the bar. No, one more. So a lot of times there were quite violent situations because of that. But then in the same wedding hall, I noticed there's a group of people. I didn't identify them straight away. I'll tell you how I identified them. But I know there's a group of people that I never had an issue with. That Interestingly enough, they left before time. There was no DJs. There was no alcohol served. And no one was shouting at me. As they came nice, they were less talking to me than others. But they always came nice, smiled. They offered me some food. No, thank you. Okay. That was it. Yeah, like what we do now. I'm really not going to go into too deep with, conversation with someone if I don't need to. But these guys will keep on chatting, and then arguing with you. These guys were like constant. How I noticed them first time, I was really ignorant. I just came to UK. I never seen a Muslim. And I really didn't have
fresh from Macedonia.
Yeah. From Slovenia. I was born and raised there. So now it's probably Doha time. Midday. I see some people taking jackets off and taking shoes off, and behind these wedding halls there were golf fields or nice, beautiful grass. I see these people taking jackets off and shoes off, and I look at my boss. There was some a Hindu guy. Oh, okay, what is he? Long time ago, 2002. Hindu, definitely. Anyway, no, I remember the way because he didn't have a turban and a beard and whatnot. Anyway, so I see them and I'm asking my guy, my manager, should I tell them to put the shoes back on? What are these people doing? He said, no, they're Muslims leaving. They're gonna pray. They're gonna pray. What? So that's I start observing them. I said, no.
Because you wanted to be a monk many years ago.
Yeah, but this was after.
Yes.
When I come to UK, I was agnostic. I wasn't religious.
Wow.
I was agnostic. Before that, I was atheist. I was even mocking religion. But when I become agnostic, then I wasn't mocking religion anymore. I understood I have no clue what's going on. So that was really honest. Honest state of life.
That's a very honest reply.
Yeah, but so,
I wish other agnostics thought the same way.
But they should be. If you're honest agnostic, you don't have a clue. You have too much information. You don't know what's true, what's not. So let's just leave it and let me live my life. I'm okay with doing whatever I'm doing.
But you're not going to mock others.
Yes. So, but if you're atheist, then yes, then you have a right to mock because then you have other issues because you're making claims you can't even support. But anyway, so I was agnostic for quite a couple of years before I started really settling down. Yes, there is something. Yeah, there is something. So first time when I've seen Muslims was at the wedding hall, and then I had a security guard who was with me, Egyptian brother, and I see him going in a toilet with this bottle. Why are you taking empty bottle with you, man? So I need to wash myself. So I was getting this information. Why you wash? And it makes sense, man. It makes sense. I've seen my panties. You see, different colors of rainbows and whatever. On your panties when you're a Muslim. Whoever is saying differently, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. So yes, your underwear gets dirty because you just shake it and fold it and that's it. So when I start noticing these things, first of all, not only that they're nicer than others, they're more hygienic than others. Yeah. So it bring me certain interest. So I started respecting Muslims so much. Even I was agnostic. And I didn't believe in God. They invited me to the masjid. I went and I prayed one Jummah with them.
Whoa, as a non-Muslim.
As a non-Muslim. Wow. I haven't, but they were all on my case then.
They were like Dawa.
Yes, Dawa. This guy is close, and I was so far away. I didn't even believe.
I know that feeling. And
I was so stubborn because I like to think a lot, and I like to argue a lot. Not for sake of argument, but I like to argue my points. Yeah. And I was so stubborn that some brothers completely give up on me. But alhamdulillah. Like today, brother, I met one brother.
Yeah.
20 years I haven't seen him.
Oh, really?
20 years. When he seen me last time, I was not a Muslim. And he couldn't believe it. And I didn't even get it. When we were together for like not too long, 10, 15 minutes. And then later on, like 5, 10 minutes, like, oh man, he seen me first time. That's why he was so, like he was stunned.
Shocked.
Yeah. Shocked. If you would know me before, you would be stunned as well. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
The thing is, when Allah changes your heart, your personality can change. Your outlook on life can change. Your perspective can change. And sometimes these little things that you see, or they're being nice to me, or they're more hygienic, whatever it is, all these things, they just segues into something bigger. Because it all leads back to Allah. It all leads back to, okay, why are they praying? Who they're praying to? What did they get out of prayer? So there's these types of things. But what then made you think, okay, now I need to give dawah? I become Muslim, now I need to give dawah.
You know how it is. So, some people, when they like something, they like to advertise it anyway.
Yeah.
So I was that kind of a guy. When I like to play basketball, so everyone calling, let's play basketball. You know, when I was partying, I was calling everyone, let's party.
Yeah.
So when I start submitting to God, I start asking everyone, let's submit to God.
Mm.
So there are those kind of people. But now,
Yes.
for people who don't have confidence, there's no point of me saying, no, I wasn't confident, then I become confident. No, I always like to talk. I was always thinking deeply and sometimes maybe more progressive in ideas of the things that I was following than others. But people who don't have confidence, I'll give you one story. Here in Haro, next to Haro shopping center, there's a regular Dawa going on even today. And I went there for Dawa a couple of times when I lived nearby. And one day one brother comes, English guy, and he said, where's that and that guy? I'm there first time, I don't know. So I pass him to another brother. Now they know who it is. Oh, he's not here now. He comes here and there. And what happened? Why are you looking for him? He says, you know what? I forgot now. He said 2, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. I passed this road. Someone shoved me some leaflet, some pamphlet in my hand. I was on the phone. I was busy. I didn't even look at it. I put it in my pocket. When I finished my day, I emptied my pocket. So what is this? I had time in that moment. I sat and I read it, and there was some site or whatever, and I went online, and today I'm praying, I'm fasting.
Allahu Akbar.
So he said he triggered it. I want to see the brother. I want to hug him.
Akbar.
And the brother didn't know. So now we know how many brothers on street Dawa, they really don't talk to people, but they're standing somewhere with some leaflet and push something. Not everyone is for everything, but we are all part of a team.
Yes.
Not everyone is a goal getter. There are people who needs to be defenders. You know, so
but
it's not.
It's about your intention, because somebody gave it out sincerely, and look what happened.
Alhamdulillah, down the road, mashallah, beautiful thing. So we have these kind of experiences when you really don't have to do a lot. You could be shy, be quiet. I have something, you know, just with a smile. Just with a smile.
That's it.
Don't grin, just with a smile, and give something in the hand, and inshallah, and then leave the process to Allah.
And the other thing to keep in mind is, we have Allah watching us do something that He loves. So we are on the street, or we're in the villages, we're giving dawah. We're not doing something bad. We're doing something good. And Allah says in the Quran, who's better in speech than the one who calls to Allah? As in, it's such a beautiful act. So when people are doing kufr, when they're doing shirk, when they're doing haram, or they are being vile, or they're doing music, they're doing things proudly. These atheists or Hindutva people, you know, when they're giving speeches, they're so proud. And Muslim is miskeen and handing out flyers like they're a mouse. That same Muslim, if that Muslim is given a job that, okay, to feed your family, you need to sell, I don't know, these cupcakes. They will go up to people, how are you? Would you like a cupcake? The confidence comes when it comes to dunya. The confidence comes when it comes to kuffar and what kufr they're trying to promote, or haram they're trying to promote. When it comes to us, when it comes to Islam, then all the confidence goes. We become mice. Yeah. But when it comes to something that is really evil, we find kuffar like lions and we're acting like mice. And it should be the other way around. They should be like, if you think about it, you know, when we were giving dawah in Leicester Square, you know, people come there, they do the music, people are dancing and everyone's watching them, and other people are doing other things and getting money for it. Then you get club promoters, you know, people who are they like come to our club, they're handing out flyers.
By the way, in Leicester Square, I've been there on both sides. I've been there. There was a club I used to work there on the door, and couple of years later, I've been there giving dawah as well.
Allah. And that's the thing. Why shouldn't we have confidence? Why shouldn't we have energy? And you know what happens is it's a negative feedback loop, as in it feeds into itself. So what happens is people don't have confidence. Because they don't have confidence, they look nervous. Because they look nervous, they look sad. And when they're handing out flyers, people are like, why would I take a flyer from someone that looks miserable?
Possible.
You want to take a flyer from somebody that looks happy. Okay, why are they happy? you're going to take something from somebody that's energetic, that's happy, that's, that looks like an optimistic person, or a person that is
more likely, but doesn't mean that, because a lot of times people will not even notice you.
Yes.
So even if you're miserable, go get the flyers. So even
Absolutely.
if you're scared, go get the flyers, because a lot of times people are just passing by like that, brother. He didn't even notice.
Yes.
He just remembered the face and the flyer
Allah
and nothing else.
Akbar,
So
Allah
subhanallah,
And he's been Muslim how many years now?
a couple of years. He said, I pray, I fast.
Allah
I just want to hug the brother, because he's
Allah
the reason how it went down the road.
Allah
A couple of
Akbar,
years later,
Allah
and the brother was probably reflecting, how did I become a Muslim? He said, yeah, that guy, it's his fault. Let's go and hug him.
the 6'7" guy.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Allah
Alhamdulillah.
Akbar, Allah Akbar. Okay, Al Khidr, we're coming to the end of the stream. What message do you want to give to the people watching about giving dawah to non-Muslims?
We spoke about confidence.
Yes.
We spoke how some people have confidence, some people don't have confidence. In general, you can build your confidence. There are ways. And the way to build your confidence is to deal with your fear factor that you have in you. Everyone's scared of something. No, look, guys, as confident as I look walking through the streets of this city or that city, I have there's something a little bit tickling me. But there's something happening in you every time you come to something unknown. It could be motivating you, or it could be stopping you.
Yeah.
So now you need to understand that heroes are doing things a lot of time despite their feelings.
That's so true.
So you need
That is so true. Yeah.
So you need to start controlling your feelings, and not feelings prevent you of doing something good. Because on the other side, some softy feelings may motivate you to do something bad. So now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees you when you do good and when you do bad. And how many times have we all, I include myself in this, have done wrong and we know Allah is watching us. Have said wrong and we know Allah is watching us. Have looked somewhere, pointed our eyes in a direction we shouldn't, was more than a blink, and we know Allah is watching us. So now on the other side, and He's not punishing you, He's letting you do what you do. On the other side, imagine hold something in a hand, leaflet, pamphlet, or join the brothers, and just have this in your mind: Allah is watching me.
Allahu Akbar.
So whatever I do, who's your ally? Even if you don't say nothing, even if no one picks up the leaflet from you, even if you don't have one conversation, you are there, you're part of a team. Sometimes in certain games, when you have a teamwork, not everyone's going to be on a field. You're going to have 11 players in football. You're going to have 5 players in basketball. It's not one-on-one. It's a teamwork. We are Jama'ah.
Absolutely.
So even if you can't do these things, trust me, you being there, Allah is watching you. Your intention is correct. And someone else can have a conversation, and someone else can give shahada, but you're part or you're getting ajr. So be there. Don't miss it, brothers.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful feeling when someone gives shahada, and then especially if the person starts practicing. It's a bad feeling when someone leaves Islam. But that's just a balance of life.
And even you giving out flyers, or you talking to someone about Islam, even if they don't accept Islam, you're doing the work of the prophets. You're doing a noble, sacred, prophetic job. You're doing something so significant. It's hard for us to imagine, but you're giving the message of the Prophet ﷺ. His last sermon was what? For us to convey from him, and for us to talk to people that were not present. So the people who are absent, they should get the message. Yes. And we are basically fulfilling that. And look, what are we looking for? When we die, we're looking for intercession, the Prophet ﷺ's intercession. How can someone say, I love the Prophet, I want the Prophet's intercession, I follow the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, yet I don't give dawah to non-Muslims? But that's what he did. But that's what Ibrahim did. That's what Nuh al-Islam did. That's what Musa al-Islam did. That's what Adam al-Islam did. Like, how is that possible? So brothers and sisters, dawah is extremely important. Here we're referring to dawah to non-Muslims. So alhamdulillah, Al-Khidr joined me for the stream. I know he's really tired. 2 hours he slept. I'm going to let him go so he can go back and sleep in the hotel. Brothers and sisters, Quranly app. I don't know if you use the Quranly app. Use it?
I don't use it. I know it.
You know of it now.
I still like a book. I still like a book a lot, but I know I heard of it, and a lot of people telling me I need to get on it. So
It's
I think it's
amazing.
time.
It's amazing. You basically, it gives you the good thing about it. See, I'm doing advertising for Al Khidr now. Good thing about it is you not only can you read it, it gives you a log. So every single time you come back, it goes back to the place that you were, right? It gives you a hasanat counter, the times, right? And you can actually track your activities. You can be like, okay, what's been happening? How's my reading been going? And you can look at what's been happening with your reading,
MashaAllah.
your daily goals. Like, for example, what I tell people is stick to minimum reading 3 verses a day. And they think, what's 3 verses? I should be reading a whole juz. No. Listen, just start with 3 verses a day, right? And the good thing is it's in English and Arabic, because sometimes there may be an entire 24 hours and you haven't read 1 verse of the Quran.
SubhanAllah.
And this keeps happening again and again. In the month of Ramadan,
But you're still picking up the phone.
Yes.
And doing some other things.
Yes.
So if you already have a phone in your hand.
And do you know what's beautiful about this? Imagine you're on YouTube and you're zombie scrolling.
I'll download it now.
There you go.
That's it.
You're
Sold.
You're on YouTube and you're zombie scrolling. You'll get a notification from Quranly telling you read the Quran. And then you have to say no to the thing, and it feels bad. So you can go and download this. It's a fantastic app. The brother Isa Khan, mashallah, he's part of IRA and he's done some fantastic. There you go.
Yeah.
Install. Mashallah.
That's it. One more.
Sold. One more person. Okay, brothers and sisters, I'm going to let Al Khidr go back and sleep after that very long journey. And inshallah, we're going to have him back in the future at some point. There's a beautiful video you'll see at the beginning of this, in which me and him did a video 10 years ago about him converting to Islam. Make sure you watch that. And in the future, I want to get more stories out of him about the fantastic dawah that's been happening in many parts of Europe that he's been involved in. So until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.